they cheated me too many times before. Don't you know you love me, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and piss me off. You went done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Welcome back to that place with that thing that you did that time with those people. You know, back then when you lived at that one house. Yeah, in that town. That. Well, welcome back to that. Oh, no, wait. Welcome back to the stupid fucking channel. Today, tonight, tomorrow possibly, we're going to be talking about stuff. Theresa May's stupid shit. Trump's Blackwater, toilet water stuff. Can't always get what you want type stuff. The truth about the YouTube ad boycott. And we're going to follow the trail of dead Russians that weren't on the subway. Too soon? I don't give a fuck. Look, it's the one thing that never gets called as a false flag. The shit that helps fascism, that claims everything's a false flag. Wasn't there just like a terrorist attack the other fucking week? A terrorist attack the other fucking week? For that, just like, and it's just amazing to me how few there were before Trump took office, and how different terror attacks all over the world just don't get a whole lot of attention. You know, I mean, they get the standard attention, but YouTube went and created a whole new section with every different channel's video. I posted a video a little while ago about it. Poor Russia. One day, they will lament such times. Anyways. So, Gorsuch. What the fuck kind of name is that? His name sounds like some sort of reversed bowel movement. Gorsuch. Gorsuch is going to be filibustered. And, of course, they're going to be a bunch of fucking hypocrites and do away with the filibuster. In this case, again, haven't they already done away with the filibuster in other cases, even though they used it for fucking years? And then when it came turn for the Democrats to be able to use it, we're not going to hang out and let this shit go. So, another thing I want to talk about is a Fox ad boycott. It's about time the sane people in this country organized around the most prolific source of stupid shit. You know, at least maybe if assholes on the road, and that's a big part of the time that you encounter the Fox News viewer and the Trump supporter, is when you're driving on the highway and you see the truck coming up on your ass. There's a Trump supporter right there. At least, you know, the talk radio, hard to target. But if there's going to be a big boycott of something like YouTube, you know, that you'd be surprised how much money is involved in that. Not nearly as much as what you're talking about when it comes to a show like Fox News. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Just for Bill O'Reilly, you know, over $100 million in ad revenue for his show. And he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And, you know, Hannity and several of the other people on that show are basically professional deceivers. And, you know, myself personally, I'm not really opposed to a lot of different people's opinions, if they are in fact their genuine opinions. But when someone's full of shit, to me they just smell horrible, and I want them to be removed. Anyways. New rule for Trump supporters with bumper stickers. What you got, Joey? Slap a stick across your license plate? I'm not sure I get that beyond a... oh. Yeah, I mean, Okay. If somebody in every way supports anti-American propaganda, supports the foreign policy of the enemy more than America, and you support them, you're a traitor. Okay? And I'm talking about Donald Trump, who somehow, even though, and let's just skip to number 3 on the list over there, he had a campaign theme song. It's been a while since somebody had a recurring campaign theme song. People have played the same song a few times here and there during their campaigns, right? I can't wrap my mind around any possible meaning other than what the conclusion I'm drawing is as to why you would want that song for an election campaign, for any election campaign. You can't always get what you want. It's as though from the beginning he knew he would lose but would still become president. You can't always get what you want. He knew from the beginning it was rigged. He said it himself. It's rigged, but he'll only accept the results if he wins. Fucking people disgust me. You disgust the combined presence of all things holy. Whatever God is, you must disgust it if you support this fucking piece of shit. And you should rue the day that your soul faces judgment if you are in a position to stop this and you continue to allow it. Every second you do so, exponentially amplified. That's what it translates to. Should I stop and make smaller sentences and explain in detail? I think not. Anyways. So, I'm just going to go back to the top. And thanks for joining me here at the fake TV channel of science and moldy fajita wraps. Yeah. So, Theresa May, is that her name? May. Like May Day. And I don't mean like Mayday, Mayday. I mean like Mayday. 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 Mayday, Mayday. It's fucking Mayday again. Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't going to end well about a lot of things right now. Between fucking North Korea and just NATO. It's as if all the things I feared and warned you about are coming true, huh? this bitch actually said, oh, don't worry, we're not going to war with Spain over this, because they'll give us our way, because they wouldn't do this. Which is essentially a threat to go to war with fucking, like, the fuck... That just happened. That just happened. Theresa, fuck May, fuck you, fuck me. May fuck all of us. Essentially just took a shit in Spain's face. And then said, if you don't like that, don't worry about complaining because we won't go to war with you. I don't even know how to make fucking sense of this. Okay, let me just start from the beginning, and when I get to the end, maybe I'll stop, or maybe we'll, I'll meet in heaven. So Gibraltar. Are you familiar with Gibraltar? Gibraltar is the little tip of Spain where the Mediterranean opens up to the Atlantic. Okay? And Great Britain has owned that for about 200 years now. Okay? Anyways, Gibraltar very much likes being a member of the EU, unlike Britain, obviously. And because of Brexit, the people in Gibraltar are none too fucking happy, because they face a possibility of severe economic turmoil due to the fact that they're British, but they're not going to be in fucking Kansas anymore. So they're going to wind up having a trade tariff increase with their closest neighbors, and the alternative would be, to ship everything from Britain. So Portugal and Spain, who they should be trading with, this is going to inhibit that. So the people start protesting, and Spain makes a statement saying, well, if the people of Gibraltar want to stay in the EU, they can always come back to Spain. We're in the EU. I was wondering where it was going a while back when Spain was having its little kerfuffle. Now we know. And now, basically, okay, like, what all of you think is wrong, and what I've been trying to tell you is right. The sooner you get it through your thick fucking skulls and arrest this fucker and everyone like him, the better chance we all have of surviving. Because what I've been trying to tell you, that you don't seem to grasp, is that this guy, okay, and May, and all the different little fuckers like him, all him and her, all those far right people, anybody far right, okay, far left even, anybody who's been helped by him isn't there as advertised. He's not there to make us great again. He's here to make Russia great again. Okay? Theresa May isn't there to make Britain. Brexit, Nigel Farage, all this shit that's happening isn't there for the benefit of the indigenous person. Isn't there as advertised. Okay. Nigel Farage doesn't give a fuck about Britain. Theresa May doesn't give a fuck about Britain. Not a fiddler's fuck. Not a slivered almond slice of a shit. Okay? They don't care at all. Trump doesn't give a fuck. He woke up in the morning, there were no fucks around. He spent his whole day, didn't see a single fuck, went to bed. No fucks under his bed, no fucks hanging from the ceiling. There were no fucks anywhere to be found. And even if he had one, he wouldn't give it to you. Trump does not give a fuck about America. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody. Not but Trump. But the horde. But the power structure. But this destructive, insane chaos. It takes over people's minds when, they suffer from what I call cranial rectal syndrome too long. When you have your head up your ass for so long that shit encrusts your eyes. You get into a molded, hurtable state. And then what you want becomes what you're programmed to want. He doesn't believe in America. He doesn't believe in Western civilization. He doesn't believe in the Trump empire. He doesn't believe in capitalism. You disagree with me because your minds are fucking half my mind's size, okay? You're completely misunderstanding the premises involved in the building blocks to the decision that you're making. Okay? Take a step back. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that. Because our plan is completely fucking useless. Our system is completely fucking useless. Our way of life to those people is completely fucking useless. They're not trying to build a future for their families based on our terms. They're building a future for their families based on our destruction. They're counting on us losing. And the more they help it along, the more they'll benefit once we're gone. And everything they accused, they're guilty of. Everything they're guilty of, they accused Obama of. Some Orwellian bullshit state. Obama? Really? Fucking Obama? Was gonna take all the guns away and declare martial law, and the UN was gonna take over and everything Alex Jones said because he doesn't have a fucking neck and blah blah blah. How the fuck do people get this bullshit? I don't understand it. Okay? How the fuck does anyone think that puts America first? How does anyone think that is in any way loyal to the philosophical norm that we refer to as humanity? He isn't. No fucks had, no fucks borrowed, no fucks bought, no fucks stolen. definitely no fucks given. Trump had a back channel communication being established. Nobody really knows if it actually was established, but there are intercepted communications regarding it being set up between what appears to be a Saudi-looking hat Muslim guy, you know, because he's your great Christian protector, right? And, you know, Blackwater, there must be a bunch of Christian crusader guys, right? Well, Blackwater, guy named, here, I have my little notes here that I scribbled down before I made that thing over there. Guy named Eric Prince, who's in charge of Blackwater, was caught communicating with a Russian somebody or other. They had the picture of him. He's Muslim. That's interesting. I find that interesting, you know. Savior of the white race. And their secret militia has a back channel communication with the Muslims and Russian intelligence. You know, probably the people that helped build that thing in Moscow. Anyways. Why is my lighting all hokey? I don't look orange. Apparently I'm suffering from a severe vitamin C overdose at the moment. Whatever. And a lack of a good joke to tell about that. So, I'm just going to move on. And the Blackwater guy, I've been looking for connections between this whole thing with Crimea and Russia and Blackwater. And here's another thing that pops up between the Trump campaign, Blackwater, and Russia. And it's, you know, leaning more towards my hypothesis that Blackwater had, you know, not been so much of an American thing. Here they are working against us. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. That is such an interesting campaign song to have, isn't it? Like, just make it a hypothetical, okay? Try to make sense of that. Just put yourself in the shoes of someone running for a given office, president, whatever, right? So, these people, your supporters, the people in general, the people, I give it back to you, the people, okay? You want to play them a song. It's going to give them hope for the future, make them want to vote for you, make them want you to be their choice, make them think that their choice is going to be the choice that matters. It gets elected. Vote for me and I'm going to win. I'm the one you want and you're going to get it. Not, you can't always get what you want. That is what a Satanist with tiny hands and a very serious problem being insecure, always wanting to make himself feel better, and oh god, the fucking I hate his face. I hate his fucking face. Most people just want to punch him. I want to tiger claw his fucking face and just rip it off. That's how I feel. Halo. Okay. Is that violent of me? Am I uncivilized? And that's why America is going to get wiped off the face of the earth. Because there's a time for things. Just like there's a definition for treason. There's a reason for the definition of treason. And again, with the hypotheticals, if you simply take a hypothetical situation, what could be the most traitorous, treasonous fucking thing anyone could ever do to any country? That is collude with an enemy to hypnotize its own people against its own government's interests and use those lies to take power over that country. The worst type of treason is the type of treason that takes over. We've been conquered. This isn't a fucking drill. This isn't a joke. The fact that Americans sneer at the idea of defending themselves. This guy said he could just shoot somebody in Times Square and nobody'd fucking care. This guy said he'd like to punch somebody in the fucking face. This guy said, take him out. This guy incited fucking violence against people who were protesting. This guy enabled the assault by grown-ass white men on black women in his crowds. And all the while he paid actors to yell loudly at his rallies until enough fucking drunken rednecks made it there to yell loudly with him and make it all start to seem really fucking scary. And us safe, comfortable, cowardly Americans who thought the Cold War was over, who thought we could move on to different struggles of mankind and whatnot, naively herded into this simple view of a war on terrorism, a war against an abstract concept, meanwhile accused by our enemies of being tricked by our own government into a perpetual war that never ends. Meanwhile, that same government who sows seeds with propaganda against us, that same government invades different countries, expands its influence across the globe, and generally speaking does every single thing they've accused our government of doing. Only they do much more and they do much worse. You can't always get what you want. We didn't get what we wanted. Put a percentage to targeted bullshit. I know the people that work in that kind of marketplace can put a percentage on it. Generally speaking, people in different aspects of campaigning, of marketing, of mass information intrusion can put a percentage, can put a number to the rate of influence. So what percentage, what number can we put on, say, the Florida electorate? The electorate as a whole. Like I said, like it's been known, like I pretty much called on election night before the fucking votes were tallied that there were, millions of votes missing and Hillary Clinton was going to win the popular vote. She won by 3 million votes, okay? She won by 3 million votes. And it's almost 3.5% when she won by. So calculate the influence, the advantage that was gained by the Russian hacking of all personal information for every registered Democrat. Okay, a dream database get. Okay. Every year, the Republicans and the Democrats try to get information on each other. All right, that's just through regular data collection, what's out there in the public. Okay, and it's perfectly legal to have computer programs assist you in that data collection. All right, as long as it's not intrusive. But the Russians hacked, and the Republicans got that information. That information was acted on by not just Russian hackers, but by fucking Republicans, super PACs, and possibly Jared Kushner himself. Because he was very confident in the effects of his data mining operation, his targeted marketing operation. But to be so effective, you would have to have the mined data to put it to use. You'd have to have something like the information gained from the DNC hack. The raw personal data, just the identities, the email addresses of all registered Democrats. So you could try to prevent them from voting. How many people did negative stories about Hillary Clinton targeted to them through email, through Facebook, through everything else? What number can you put to that? What percentage did that affect? Consider the fact that we had a record number of registrations. Half the number of people that were registered last time, okay, we had that many new registrations. So we had a third more registrations. Over 100 million new registrations. Where'd the turnout go? Where'd all those excited new people go who were in Florida and in Pennsylvania at the Hillary Clinton rallies? Never been political, never even registered to vote before. Going and registered and voting right then and there. I personally think that a lot of those votes didn't get counted. But what about the people who didn't go to that rally because they kept on getting bombarded about Hillary Clinton's email shit and didn't get information about Donald Trump's ties with Russia, didn't get information about Donald Trump sneaking into fucking teenage beauty pageants, and on and on and on, targeted against Hillary Clinton, kept from the negatives about Donald Trump. What mathematical percentage can you put to that? 1%? 2%? 30%? Because really, when it all boils down to it, you have somebody who's being framed by the enemy, and you have somebody who's working with the enemy. If the American people were actually allowed to know that and make a fucking decision, what percentage do you think it would have fucking changed the results by? How much more do you think she would have won by? 30%? 50%? Would that be enough to change the 0.5% in Pennsylvania and Florida and Wisconsin, Michigan, Texas? Yeah. If it wasn't for Russian hacking, if it wasn't for Russian collusion, Hillary Clinton would have won Texas. Let that sink in. This is bullshit. And the longer it goes on, the longer it stands uncorrected, the more the stench of it is smeared all over the world. And we lose. Not just America, okay, but the ideal of democracy itself loses validity. We lose integrity. We lose any reason to say, look, our system is better. Our system will protect your rights. Our system protects us from dictators, from tweet-tators. Banana Republic. That's what we are. Until we come up with a mathematical number, a percentage, a figure, a range, plus or minus, with a margin of error on both sides. Because realistically, it's 15 to 45 fucking percent if you actually say, okay, minus the influence of this information provided by Russian hacking, minus the influence of this information targeted through unfair means. What would have happened? All this nonsense about the polls being wrong. The polls had Hillary Clinton ahead by 3%. She won by 3%. But there was this targeted, okay, the way I've been hacked on this channel, the way I've been suppressed on Twitter, okay, it's the same thing that kept me off of Facebook. People who I know that were friends of mine for 20 years, I was friends with on Facebook, who I know I've had conversations politically with for fucking years, who I know if I posted something that they would want to talk to me about it, that they would at least click like as they fucking saw it. They didn't see it. What you're seeing on Facebook was basically what they fucking wanted you to see. There were these algorithms, and Jared Kushner professed to be behind at least part of them, okay, designed to make these stories popular through the use of fake troll accounts, okay? So, you know what trending is? Trending is something that gets popular. It shows up on your screen because this is popular. Everybody wants to see this right now, so you should see it too. Well, if you can make a bunch of fake troll accounts, if you can make a bunch of real and fake troll accounts, real accounts that guide troll accounts, and have them all cause a story to trend, you know, a story that happens to be released by WikiLeaks, for instance. then your scroll is manipulated. Your opinion is shepherded. And then on top of that, those of us who are giving contrary information, I guess supposedly due to lack of relative popularity because no troll bots, or due to, well, just hacked fucking suppression targeted by keywords. If you talked about certain things, nobody would get to fucking hear you talk about it unless they went and scrolled your shit directly. You wouldn't show up in the feed because you weren't approved. Think. All the while they accused Obama administration, they accused liberals, they accused basically centrists like Hillary Clinton of wanting to establish some Orwellian state, because supposedly it's insulting to call a racist a racist. That's bullshit. And man, I'm telling you, people need to start standing up for themselves. People need to start taking risks. I mean, there are plenty of ways that Democratic Congress people could, take the initiative and wind up becoming famous and becoming a hero just by saying, this isn't right. What are they going to do? Target you in the next campaign? Kill you? I suggest you grow a pair. This shit's serious. If this guy gets his own Supreme Court nominee, we won't just be following a trail of dead Russians, we'll be following a trail of dead Americans. But you know what? Those names will be remembered. And the ones who stood idly by and did nothing, their deaths will be forgotten. So, the follow the trail of dead Russians thing. Turns out that's regarding the piss letter, or whatever it is. The dossier. See, essentially, what U.S. intelligence was starting to believe, and that now private U.S. intelligence firms, including former Obama administration officials and FBI, officers and analysts and whatnot, they allege, and it seems to make a lot of sense to me, that basically the people that are being killed right now are the sources, each individual source for each individual item on the Trump Russia dossier. So they're essentially cleaning up all the loose ends as the before the Senate could call those people up and try to get them interviewed and investigate. So in pure mafia fashion, Donald Trump's ass has been covered through assassination. So yeah, it might take a little bit of risk for a congressperson to stand up and say, this president is illegitimate. This election was illegitimate. We need to figure out what percentage of votes were illegitimately cast. We need to figure out what percentage of people were brainwashed. Okay? That's the word. Okay? The word is brainwashed. The phrase, the strategy for the act of war that Donald Trump colluded in, a war against this country that Donald Trump assisted, okay? An attack on this country was assisted by this man. He attacked this country. He didn't run for election. He attacked us with psychological warfare. What percentage of effect did that psychological warfare have? That's what needs to be asked. That's what needs to be demanded. Because right now, we have somebody who won the election, and then we have a traitor sitting in the White House. All right, so before I get into the Fox ad boycott, I'm going to open it up to comments. Anybody got some questions or comments? I just take like a little break from my soapbox. Tell me what you think of my redesign. I've tried to make everything show up a little better, more centered in the screen, and a little less cheesy. Just trying to make the best of my MS Paint graphics, you know. All right. See here, it's time for an intermission song while we do comments. Everybody who's not talking in the comments, introduce yourself, say hello. Okay. So that's a song that I really am not satisfied with the recording of, but it almost gets the point across, kind of. So I'm considering doing a Google Hangouts thing. Neville, I have not seen the latest Rachel Maddow story. Another one on Carter Page. I didn't see tonight's Rachel Maddow on Carter Page, but I will be sure to check it out. I always try to catch the MSNBC channel's clip so I can, support them, giving them the view and the like, and ads if any ads actually fucking show up, Google Hangouts is a thing that you can just go to, and it downloads a little app on your computer, works with your webcam, and it allows people to chat and stream. But what I don't know is if I can do a hangout without streaming. Neville, you got a webcam? You want to try this? Joey, are you still online? Need somebody to help me test my experiment with. Any volunteers that I know-ish? See if my little disposable computer here can handle it. I was thinking for a second, where the hell's that custom built computer that I have? Oh, it's holding those boxes up. It's a good use for it. Maximo, if you add me on Google Plus, I can't add you, so we can try that if you're not blocked. Sounds like fun to me. I assume I'm on the right account. I don't know whether I'm supposed to have a blue icon or a white icon. Oh, that's another fun issue I've had. I'm not seeing any notifications on there. Lacey, if you have Google Plus and a webcam, okay, add me on Google Plus and then type in Google Hangouts or something. If you're logged into Google Plus on your web browser. Whoever messages me first on Google Hangouts with that wins. So anyways, I guess while I'm waiting on somebody to figure that out, talk about the Fox ad boycott. So what I was thinking is mainly trying to organize this on Twitter. And basically, kind of making it like a shouting festival, a tweeting festival at companies like Tide, and let's see, I have a few written down. Tide, Ford, Capital One, SC Johnson Wax, Dow Chemical, like all the different major American corporations. Just keep on just hammering away at them, just saying, don't support Fox News. It's destroying America. It will not be good for you in the long term. Because while the whole idea of, people being bribed essentially on the corporate level for giving, support to a certain political group, we're going to lower your taxes on the corporate level, so support us, and all the other shit that we're going to do that could be shady as fuck. It doesn't always work out overall because, selling out America's foreign policy is kind of a bad thing. All right, now I'm looking for an invite. Fucking conversations. Didn't get an invite. Invites there. Invites. Oh, there we go. Technology. See? You can learn how to use it too. You just click stuff until you find what you need. Hopefully it doesn't explode. Alright, so we're going to try to do this. I think. Perhaps. If I can get the window to look remotely right. There we go. Come on. Alright, so I'm hoping that it shut down the transmission for this. Okay, I'm going to mute. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to mute the microphone on here and start this.
Hey, how you doing? Can you guys hear me? Does the sound come through? Oh, awesome. There's like 5 seconds. Like, like 5 seconds.
The sound that is coming through on here is just fucking crazy. Okay, wait. I can't understand anything you're saying. So I'll do this. Well, that was interesting. So that concludes that experiment. It seems as though if we're going to do a hangout session, we're going to have to do it on a Hangouts on air, directly broadcasting through YouTube. So anyways, some things you just can't undo. Yeah. Very interesting. But anyways, so let's see what else we got here going on with our tweet-tater. The context, okay? Don't just beleaguer people, berate people, if you will. Berate people like corporations, American corporations in general. General Electric, any fucking American corporation you could think of. As soon as you think of it, tweet to it. Tell them stop buying ads on Fox News and support companies like CBS and NBC, MSNBC, and tell them, despite what's going on with YouTube, that they should try to use their influence on YouTube to make YouTube a more responsible company, because there's a lot of independent voices on YouTube who need their fucking help too. Yeah. There's a lot we need to do to just get the mentality of psychosis out of this country. Yeah. Works like an early 2000s Kia. Anyways, talk with you later. Active measures. Y'all know what active measures are? Active measures. That's the phrasing that Mr. Clint Watts used to describe how Donald Trump basically joined in a Russian attack against this country. Active measures, active psychological warfare measures, active counterintelligence measures against this country. Donald Trump participated in them. And I think if we can get it on that analytical of a basis, we can analyze it to the point where we have a number, just a range. And if that range is, like you said, above half a percentage point, then we're supposed to have Hillary Clinton in the White House right now. You know, the person who won the election. Yeah, people are finally starting to use the word treason. See, what happened was on Twitter, there were some very notorious trolls that were blowing up Hillary Clinton's Merry Christmas message post. Okay, trolling her with all kinds of vile shit on that. And I responded on there with something to the effect of, if you're celebrating the victory, the loss of the victory of a traitor over a patriot, then you're not a conservative, you're a traitor, or something like that. Okay. And it was like one of my first tweets on there, and I just got like hundreds and hundreds of likes. I got 400 something likes in a matter of like the first 5 or 6 days. And then Twitter started changing the rules, and then suddenly just about any tweet or reply I fucking made got very little attention. I find that a bit odd. But since I made that post, and I made friends with like the Starfleet people and a few different other people online, and they had retweeted that shit, and then other people started using like the hashtag treason, and you know, basically this whole Russian thing blew up as like a popular talking point, and people started paying more attention to the few reporters who had actually been reporting it this whole time. And then more and more reporters started reporting on it, and then the people in the government who were actually trying to do something about it started getting a lot of attention. And none of that shit was going on until I got on Twitter. But now it's finally getting into the Congress. They're finally starting to use it more on the mainstream media, more on just like the nightly news type programs. This could be fucking treason. No, we're supposed to have a say so. It's not supposed to be a chosen individual best qualified to carry out an agenda. And if it was that person, at least it would be the responsible people who had been keeping this country going and defending it against Russia and all kinds of different aggression for a couple centuries now, including against the Civil War, But our elections were very real up until about, after Gore's loss. The paper ballots were much more reliable. Hanging chads are not. Once we had Fox News and Diebold voting machines. Fox News, Diebold voting machines, and iHeartRadio, okay, fucking people who hire right-wing talking hosts. Basically, their parent company has another subsidiary who makes fucking voting machines too, just like Fox News' parent company owns Diebold. So we have these fucking basically right-wing media voting machines. That seems fucking silly to me. But even that could be legitimate. When faced with a good choice and a bad choice, the American people should be able to overwhelm rigged voting machines. But, rigged voting machines are a problem. That's the problem. It's not a matter of there's some elite deciding on the shit. Okay, that's describing Russian fake democracy, not American real democracy. We now have a Russian fake democracy, but this is a new thing for us. There's no elite council of people that decides who gets to be the next person. Okay, you'll have an elite council on the Republican side, and an elite council on the Democratic side. On the Democratic side, they'll decide what their policy should be, what their strategy should be. On the Republican side, they will decide what crimes they will commit to win. Okay? So it's a matter of if those crimes win against the charisma and the policies of the other. It's not a matter of one group of people. This whole idea of global elites is bullshit. Rich capitalists don't cooperate. They compete. Mafia cooperates. Okay? Alright, so hour and 20 minutes in. Do we got any more questions going on here? Yeah, the majority of Trump comments, or the majority of comments to anything Trump tweets are negative. Yeah, and one thing that should be attributed to looking at exit polling and weird percentages of voting totals is Trump's fake Twitter support. Just any old fucking celebrity has more Twitter followers than Trump, man. And then you can prove that most of the people that follow him either hate his guts or are Russian troll accounts. So how the fuck did he in any way legitimately win? It's nonsense. Yeah, well, a salesman is a fucking salesman. And maybe I have the benefit of having been a salesman, so I see right through every single bit of his bullshit. Every single one of his little tactics that he does, okay? All his little stupid fucking negotiating tactics. They're out of other people's playbooks, not the art of the deal. They're out of, real salespeople's books. But, like, fact of the matter is, the art of the deal, it actually, Donald Trump says that he's, he'll lie for any reason to get ahead. Just, the truth is fucking meaningless to him. And I can see, to a certain extent, why, if someone wasn't already aware of what was going on, why his bullshit might have worked. But at the same time, there's a level of responsibility that Americans should all strive for and should look for in our leaders. And Donald Trump at no point exhibited that. Yeah, his army of defenders on Twitter disappeared once he was elected, because Putin has no interest in seeing him succeed. None whatsoever. Putin's only interest is in seeing America and NATO destroyed by him. And if he does a good job of destroying it for him, and it's convenient enough, he will, get a private island or whatever. Joey's in bed. Yeah, a moment of this asshole is what we need. That was, that was a result of the Russian active measures against this country. Okay. The fact of the matter is, Obama will go down in history as one of the greatest presidents of any country ever. Okay. One of the greatest presidents of any country ever. Definitely one of our greatest presidents. Because just about everything you heard negative about him was either outright bullshit or was completely taken out of context. This happened over and over again. I tracked it on this channel. For the last couple of years I was on here doing it. But the fact of the matter is, every step of the way he made the correct choices. Okay, and because he made the correct choices, he established America as a great country. It had lost its place in the world under George W. Bush. And the only people in the world that opposed Obama supported Putin. Okay, the only people in the world that were against Obama were against America. And even when it came to Ukraine, okay, like the whole idea that we should send weapons to Ukraine overtly. I mean, if you're going to do it secretly. Obama made the right decisions every step of the way. And he gave us a more American America than we ever had before. Oh yeah, Obama definitely gave us a positive reputation with the world. I mean, he strengthened not only America's trade. He reduced our trade deficit. He increased American manufacturing. He increased American competitiveness through the emission standards. But he also increased American competitiveness through regulation. See, when you regulate American companies and then American products have to cater to a certain standard, and then you create something like the Consumer Protection Bureau, further creating accountability within American companies, further improving American products and services, the services behind those products, then the world sees that and they want that. They want to be friends with that. They want to buy a piece of that. They see an asshole in charge. They see a bunch of fucking bombs being dropped or whatever. They don't want to buy American. You take away the regulations and you make our companies not have to compete, but able to basically just cut costs into being profitable. They're not going to want to buy that. We're going to wind up with some fucking, 90s Ford Tauruses and fucking Chevy Cavaliers. Again. Did you know that back in the 80s, like, Dodge made a 4-cylinder that got 30 fucking plus miles to the gallon? Like. In the 90s, they just forgot how. It was like a little spurt of regulation, and then it got done away with through the Reagan years. And then Clinton didn't really do fucking much either way regarding that. But Ford did well because of NAFTA. So did GM. GM did well because of NAFTA. But Obama's emissions regulations as a condition for the loans that he gave the automotive industry, it was a brilliant fucking move, okay? Because not only did, we bailed out the automotive industry and kept people's jobs and kept American manufacturing viable, and, keeping automotive manufacturing viable keeps us able to have an enhanced national security stance, because basically a country's ability to resist invasion is proportional to their ability to produce mechanized infantry vehicles. All right. So Obama was really strong on national security without talking a lot about it, in a lot of different ways, in fact. I mean, completely updating our aircraft carrier fleet. He was criticized for things that he was doing that actually enhanced our national security. Okay? Oh, don't do that, Obama bad. Meanwhile, it was Russia that wanted you to say that, because what he was doing was outfitting our take it easy, Nival. What he was doing was outfitting our aircraft carriers with new, the catapults that launch the airplanes. Now all of our aircraft carriers can launch a lot more airplanes a lot quicker, a lot more efficiently. And they made room, because they don't have to have the steam tanks anymore. They made room for other munitions and supplies and shit. Thanks, Obama. But this whole campaign against Obama, this whole campaign against America's interests, okay, which triggered people with Obama's race by calling him a Muslim, by painting him as some far left-leaning something or other, okay? They got people to rally around these anti-American interests just out of blind hatred. It's like this demon possession that fucking took over people. And that's what it is. It's demonic blindness. When you can't see the truth because of inequity. People were made to hate. And because they were made to hate, they were unable to see. And, you know, I guess now orange is the new black. All right, well, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and call that a broadcast, people. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Thanks for showing me your interesting gazebo or whatever the hell that is. You were smoking a cigar in there, Maximo. And thanks for the people who are watching this tomorrow after it is uploaded. And I'll be more than likely doing another broadcast during the day tomorrow. And hopefully not a whole lot of news will develop, so I'll have something interesting and introspective to talk about. Maybe we'll do that kind of stuff during the day, or this kind of stuff at night, or maybe vice versa. I don't know, but I'm tired, so goodbye. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please click the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and check your subscription to make sure it's still there. Peace.
Takes my pain back to a place I don't understand.